and welcome to the Tavern. Tonight, we are thrilled to welcome Dea Irby, a highly successful real estate agent, TEDx speaker, and published author, to the Tavern podcast. Dea's latest book, Claim Your People at Work, presents a comprehensive five-facet leadership strategy for fostering a culture of belonging in your workplace. As a proud mother of 8 children and 19 grandchildren, an enthusiastic globetrotter, pun aficionado, and spirit triathlete, she brings a wealth of insight and experience to the conversation tonight. Everybody, get ready for a lively and informative discussion. Miss Irby, how are you tonight?
Hey, Brendan. Wow, I want to meet that person you introduced.
I agree. She sounds pretty cool.
Wow. Yes, I'm doing great. And I just really appreciate you, Brendan, inviting me on, allowing me to share the airspace with you and maybe bring some excitement and or relaxation at the end of the day for some of your listeners that are coming in to the tavern for
Absolutely.
a retreat.
Yes. If for those of you who are new to our show, that's what we're all about. You had a long day and you don't feel like going out to the bar, well, you can come hang out with us, ask some questions, learn a few things, have a few laughs, and go ahead, grab your favorite drink, get your snack, get in bed, cuddle up with us. You know, Yoshi Hero, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for checking us out.
All right. So Yoshi Heroes here.
Thank
Hey,
you. I am the goat. You're right. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, as always, we are also co-hosted by our producer Landon. How are you, sir?
is there you?
Hello. Hello.
Hi, I'm
Uh,
Landon.
I'm Landon. I'm doing okay. I wasn't ready for this part, so
Sorry, didn't mean to throw you under the bus that quick.
it's okay.
So Landon will be communicating with some of our followers, getting questions. So if anybody is out there is listening and has some questions for our guest tonight, throw them down in the comments. We can get them up on screen for you and get your questions answered tonight.
Yep. If you have any questions for the topic of discussion, feel free to ask it, and I will try and voice it on your behalf. Yeah.
So we'll get started with the first questions. We've got quite a bit here to go through with you. We prepared some good ones, and hopefully you'll enjoy the questions we ask you tonight. But right off the rip, what inspired you to write a book about creating a culture of belonging in the workplace?
Ooh, because the reason it's focused on the business world is the business world has been going through some challenges.
Yes,
With, I mean, maybe you know people that have suffered from the Great Resignation,
I've
and
heard about
people have been walking away. Well, but here's the thing: I hear people don't quit their jobs; they quit their bosses. So, how can I help bosses do a, a better job of creating a workplace where people want to stay and not leave? So there's
that.
that
Exactly.
part of it. Quiet quitters also, you might have heard that term. Have you heard that term? And if anybody listening wants to say, yes, I am a quiet quitter, or I know a quiet quitter, that's somebody that's just totally not motivated. They show up, they punch the clock, they do what they're supposed to do, but they are just not engaged. So, belonging, well, the reason I'm so passionate about belonging is it all started way back when. Remember, Brandon, remember when you were 5? Now, it's easier for you to think back that far than it is for me. But who were you with? And well, you didn't know Landon yet, but you were soon to meet him.
Uh-huh.
But when you were 5, who were you with and what were you doing? So, and everybody think about that. Grayson, you can think about that. But when I was 5, I distinctly remember a day that sort of defined my life. I was sitting in the grass in the front yard of Miss Annie's preschool, making pink clover necklaces with my classmates. And what's interesting about that is those are the same classmates I graduated from high school with. They I grew up in a very, very small Mississippi town of only about, well, we almost had 5,000 people in my whole town. I know there's smaller towns, but I had a real strong sense of belonging. I knew everybody, they knew me, and it wasn't a belonging like I belong to the library, I belong to the Y. It was a, did you ever see that TV show Cheers,
Yes, absolutely.
where everybody knows your name?
Everybody knows you. Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, go
I
ahead.
get the theme song stuck in my head.
Really. No, so that was what I experienced growing up, all through until I left for college, which I only went about 45 minutes away. But um, that was my normal. That was what I experienced. And I thought, oh, hey, this is what everybody has. They have a sense of belonging. They have a sense of identity. They know who they are and where they come from. And then,
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
until my husband graduated from his graduate studies, and we moved 13 hours away from anything or anybody I knew. And no longer in South Carolina, you may hear this, hey, how's your mama, Nam?
Yep.
You hear that? What are they saying?
They're asking your whole family, how's everybody?
And make sure that you tell every one of them that I said hello. So
Exactly.
that's the greeting. That's the communal. We are part of this tribe. And I wasn't hearing that anymore. In fact, when I would introduce myself, I would get more like the so, like,
Mhm.
okay. And that was the first time that I felt that pain of isolation, that not belonging, like nobody cared that I existed. And that's when I realized, wow, there are a lot of people that is their normal.
Yeah.
That is they don't know what it means to belong. And as I've studied this, well, from that point on, I was determined, okay, wherever I am, we're going to have community. We're going to
Yeah.
build community. I'm going to make people feel like they belong. And as I studied this, especially well, you mentioned I have 8 children. They're all grown. Yes. We had them over 3 decades, and it took 45 years for us to be empty nesters, but we got there. But
Yeah.
anyway, building a sense of community was important in the home. Then I had an opportunity to step out into the business world, where I also built a community when I owned a restaurant in the North Georgia mountains before we moved to North Carolina. And now, as I'm a real estate agent, I want my people to know they belong. They are part of my tribe. I support them. And and that, looking at what business world is going through right now, I wanted to bring that to the business world to say, hey, build a culture of belonging in the workplace, and you will boost the bottom line. Boost your bottom line with belonging. And how can I communicate that strategy? And that's when I came up with the idea that people don't just want to be connected, like belong to the library. They want to be claimed. That street gangs, that's a terrible thing to consider, but
But you're right. People do want to be claimed.
they're claimed into a street gang because they want that. And if you've studied business or leadership, you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where the very base need that everybody has is just food, clothing, and shelter.
Yes.
After that is safety.
Yes.
But what's next? It's belonging.
Belonging.
And you can't progress anywhere past that. You can't be motivated to do anything else. You can't be a high producer at work if you don't have a sense of belonging.
So let
So
me ask you something. As
yeah,
a person who works for a very large global corporation, I'm not going to say any names, um, it is very difficult for that corporation to create a sense of belonging because it has grown so monstrously big, and each individual store handles itself differently. As much as they try to keep it uniformed, and it has a bad reputation for not being inclusive and belonging, and they're trying to work on that, but you seem to have a good grasp of how to create that sense of belonging. And how do you convince a worker who works for a company that large to be supportive of a company that large? I don't know if you notice my you know disobey. I'm very big on disobey, fight the man. I don't care for big corporations. I don't care for the little guy being stepped on. So how, in a corporation that size, how do you feel motivated, and how do you feel like you want to not be a quiet quitter, as the word you used earlier, um, when you work for a company that big?
that is a great question. That well, if I'm talking to, well, for lack of a better way of saying it, the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. That's because those are the people that are like, hey, why should I do this? Y'all are making all the money, I'm getting the scraps. So how do you build a sense of belonging for someone with that mindset?
Well, it has to start from above. However, each one of us brings an attitude with us. I've done one TED talk, The Magic of the Meal, but
Mhm.
I've got another one that I want to do, and it's talking about this. People are suffering from depression and
At higher
loneliness,
rates.
all that came about, and we all have access to a powerful free drug that we can give people that will make a difference.
And what would that be?
It's a smile.
I knew it. All right, I like that. You're right.
And when you smile, your brain says, "I'm happy," and your body releases peptides,
Right.
serotonin,
Yes.
um, oxytocin, and
All the
whatever,
feel good chemicals.
all the happy chemicals is what
That's
I
right.
call it. That's my technical term. The happy chemicals. Well, guess what? When you smile at someone, do you know a smile is a greater epidemic, has more power than the flu?
Absolutely.
More contagious. That's the word I wanted to use. A smile is more contagious than the flu. So when you smile, and I've been testing this since I've been studying it, just out, I'll see somebody, I don't know them, I'm passing by them. We're both going in and out of to get your refill of your drink, and I'll smile. And their brain they unconsciously, it's an unconscious just reflex that they smile back. Well, guess what?
Absolutely.
You just spread happy chemicals to them.
You did.
So ask, you not ask. If you go to work
Hmm.
with a smile on your face, you could change at least one person there. And
Yeah,
if you have two people infected with happy chemicals, they can spread those drugs. So it's all about, well, I mean, I know this is trite, but be the change you want to see in the world.
I agree with that. I 100% agree. I agree with you so much that there are times in my life where something as little as I'll be walking by, and if I see somebody with a nice shirt, like, hey, I like your shirt, and just keep walking. I don't need to continue that conversation, but they're gonna remember that the rest of the day and be like, I do love this shirt. Or I had a lady that I work with. She's an older woman, and she's been with the company for probably 30, 40 years at this point. And she just looked, she wasn't happy one night. And I walked by and I was like, I love your earrings that you're wearing tonight. And she was like, thank you. And the rest of the night, smile. She did not look sad to me the rest of the night. I think she just was having a moment, and having somebody say something genuinely kind to her it fixed it for the rest of the night. It maybe not have fixed the problem, but it definitely changed her mindset the rest of the night.
Well, it released happy chemicals in her that gave her a better chance of surviving.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
we need to spread that epidemic of smiles. And here are two other tactics that you can use to make a difference. One is when you talk to someone, you look them in the eye.
Yes. Eye contact is so important for
You're
so many
looking
things in
the
life.
window to their soul.
Exactly. You took the
And
words out of my mouth just now.
And when you're, we are consumed with meetings online. So find the camera
Yeah.
and look into the camera. You can
Yes.
reach through the lens to the person that's watching.
I love it. I love that.
And the second way, which is actually third, because you smile and you look in their eyes, but the third way, Brandon, can be as powerful as a smile. When you see someone, when you're talking to someone, or when you're at a store, use their name.
Yes. Look them in the eye, smile, and use their name. And you'd be surprised how many people have not felt all three of those in 1 second. And it's powerful.
What using someone's name does is it says, I see you.
Absolutely.
You are an individual. You are not a blur in my world.
You're not a blur in my world. I love that.
You have an identity. And you might be the only person that whole day or that whole week that recognizes that person. Think about the power that you have by thinking of others and using their name and looking them in the eye and smiling. That's power.
It is very much powerful. And I think Landon has taken the power into his own hands right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I liked how you pointed out that the name is important. I believe that it is a symbol. It is our identity. If you want to take it to very simple terms, right? It's like a dog. A dog knows its name. When you call a dog by its name, it perks up. It gets happy because that is that dog's identity. And it's the same in the subconscious. We have the same reaction to that. We feel important when you use our name. It's power.
Totally.
I cannot take you seriously with those horns on your head, sir. You're philosophical and preaching truth.
Yes, it is.
Those are deer antlers.
Those are deer antlers. I'm loving it. What a rack. What a rack.
Thanks.
A racket. Is it a racket?
Yeah, it's not a 10, but it's at least a 6. So.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6 point. So there's some little ones hiding in there. So from the bottom up, you don't have to wait for somebody else to create the sense of community. You can create a sense of community and belonging with the one person next to you. And Absolutely. The two of you then already have a community that you can help the third person feel like they belong by spreading these happy chemicals. So that's where you do it from here. From the top, what you have to look at is a big corporation, and you think, how do you turn the Titanic with a canoe paddle? That's what you feel like. However, it has been done. And you know who Campbell's Soup Company is, right?
Yes.
Do you know that we almost did not have Campbell's chicken noodle soup? Campbell's Soup Company almost went under.
Really?
In the year 2000.
Oh my goodness.
After 5 years of suffering and being at the bottom of the totem pole on, it wasn't even Fortune 500, they brought the new sheriff in town. His name was Doug Conant. And he intentionally turned that ship around by building a culture of belonging in
Nice.
the actions that he took. He invested in the people. And that's one of my, I didn't get to this, but I have an acrostic
Nice.
to claim your people. People don't
Yes.
just want to be connected, they want to be claimed, right?
They do want to be claimed. That's
And
absolutely right.
this, each one of these letters is a facet to be applied.
That's where your 5-step facet comes in. I'm seeing what you're doing. Okay.
All right. That's why my book, which you can almost see in the background, is Claim Your People at Work.
Nice.
It's because people want to know that they're chosen.
Chosen. Okay.
I mean, did you ever have in PE class, they divided up the teams and the team captain got to pick the teams? And
Yes.
there's always I'm the team captain, or I got picked first. And then there's the kid that would rather be in the library reading a book.
Absolutely.
Right? So being chosen, being selected for a job, being chosen to be on a team, being chosen to do a certain responsibility, that has a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the facets of building community and belonging. The L, people want to know they're loved. And this isn't an Eros love. This is you are safe and secure here. You can approach me as a leader and tell me what you're thinking. If you have suggestions, we can have a conversation about the mistakes you made, and you're not going to get your head chopped off.
Mm-hmm.
May have to redo the project or whatever, but there's L for loved. And A, what do you think A stands for? People want to know that they're chosen. They want to know that they're loved. They want to know that they're,
I would say, accountable. I like to be held accountable for things because I like to do things correctly, and I like to do things for the sake of doing the right thing. So if I'm not doing the right thing, I like to be held accountable, not in a negative way, but just like, hey, you said you were going to do this for me and it didn't get done. I completely forgot because I did want to do that for you,
Uh-huh.
How about adored?
That's a good word. Of course, it's kind of hard to read my mind, so you might not know the word I'm thinking.
Okay, what is the word you're thinking? What is the word?
My word is acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Okay, absolutely.
So we already talked about how we can acknowledge people by using their name, by looking them in the eye, by smiling at them.
And that may just do what they needed to do. May just do what they need.
Yeah. So you can be acknowledged at work. You can be acknowledged for accomplishments.
Very true.
And all the DEI focus,
mm-hmm.
You can't be diverse or inclusive or equitable if you haven't acknowledged all the differences.
Exactly.
Acknowledging also is not just acknowledging the differences in skin color, it's the differences in communication styles.
Absolutely.
Or learning styles.
Absolutely.
If you're leading somebody, do they learn auditorily? I mean, you have to tell them something, or are they visual learners where they have to read it, or are they kinesthetic learners where you have to kind of show them how? So you acknowledge their differences, and then you can include them. The I, and we've kind of talked about that, is, what do you think the I is? People want to know that they're chosen, they're loved, they're acknowledged. They want to know that they're included. No, that's not the word. That's in chosen, but it's a good guess, and that's usually what everybody guesses. They want to know they're invested in.
And that's a good one, because they absolutely are invested in. And when they feel that way, that's powerful.
Well, and that is part of what Doug did Conant did when he took over Campbell Soup. He invested in the people. He would write handwritten notes like, "What, Mary? Thank you for how you handled this case. I really appreciate your contributions. Hey, George, I like the way you're making sure the floors are clean. I mean, he wrote over the 10
Handwritten
years,
notes.
he
I like that.
turning, yeah, well, a lot of people didn't have emails, so he had to write him a note. But over the 10 years he was turning the company around, he wrote 30,000 handwritten notes to people.
Way to go. That's impressive.
Yes.
You know, on that same topic, showing that kind of leadership, I just want to give an example. So for that company that I specifically say that I, stated that I worked for, when I first started, I felt very included and felt that sense of belonging because the particular person that ran the location that I worked for, imagine he's the highest person on the totem pole, right? Came in the door and got on that register and said, hey, go take care of the customers and show them how they can get through our lines faster and just make sure that they're having a good time. And I'm going to take over on this register, and started greeting customers and checking them out. And he's the man that owns that location. And that the kindness that he always showed to us as a staff, and the fact that he was willing to go out there and stop and talk with customers. And I watched one time he helped an old lady she was trying to pick up a watermelon, and this woman was probably, I don't know. She was in one of the riding carts, and she had like a stent in her arm and trying to pick up this watermelon. And he comes over and picked it up, put it in her buggy for her, and walked with her and helped her check out and just had a conversation with her the entire time. And my heart about dropped, because I'm like, this is a man that's supposed to be the leader of a major corporation, and he's still willing to invest in a single customer. He doesn't care about the money. He cares about the people that are coming in his store every day. And
that's right. You don't build businesses, you build people, and people build businesses. So if you know that if you are a leader and you invest in your people know that you're investing in them. And it's sure, a bonus is nice and a raise is nice, but there are way other ways to invest. Think about the time. Children spell love, Time.
Wow. I like that.
And so do we.
Yeah. To show someone their love, you got to give them your time.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because here's the thing, you can always make more money. You can always buy another product, but you can never make more time. Your
You
time
are 100% right.
is gone. You spent it and it's gone. So when you invest in your people, Landon raised his hand. Do you have something?
Yep, we are at our 25-minute mark, and his special surprise is about to happen.
Well, I was going to say that you can do one of two things. You can either make money or you can make memories. That's one of the things that we say in my career line.
That's true. But quickly, let me say what the M is. What do you think people want to know that they are? That's M.
Memorable?
That kind of works into it.
Monetized.
Yeah. If anybody's listening out there, monetized, we'd appreciate that one.
They want to know they're made for greatness.
Made for greatness.
And the greatness is being totally everything that puts you together to be you. Like your gifts, your passions, your skills, your education, your experiences. The world needs you. And as a leader, if you empower your people to be your greatness, then the second M is you're going to make a difference. People want to know that they're going to make a difference. And bottom line, I have 3 words for this one. People want to know they matter.
Yes.
Right.
So that is the CrossFit claim that my book goes into great detail and gives examples and suggestions on how to apply this as a leader. But if you are being led, then you can be the change you want to see in the world. And what? Smile, look people in the eye, and use their name, right, Brandon?
Because that may just be what they need today.
Exactly.
Well, Dea, we have one final question that we ask every person who comes on the show. I will admit that it has been used on me 3 different times, and it has stopped me in my tracks every time.
Yep.
And I know the question. So it is time to pose it on to you.
Sure.
Good luck. Have fun. What is one question that you wish we would have asked you, and how would you have answered that question?
Maybe how people can get in touch with me.
Ooh, I dig it. We have never had that answer.
Or where they can find me, find out more. And I made it as simple as possible.
Mhm.
It's deairby.com. That's my website.
I
It's very
love it.
simple.
Right and to the point too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you
Also,
can find out more about this. You can find out, schedule a chat with me. You can, all kinds of things.
we also have other links and social medias that we'll be posting in the post show, thing that we'll be posting up. It'll have all of that. So anywhere and everywhere that you can get in touch with Dea Irby, will definitely be there. So in closing, I would like to say thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciated you being here. We wish we would have been able to do the first one, and we sorry we had to cancel on that, but here we are now. I think we had a lot of fun. I definitely learned a thing or two that is going to help me grow in life, and for my future, and to help somebody else's future as well.
Absolutely, Landon. Absolutely. So, do you have any closing words or statements for our audience tonight, Miss Dea?
I want you to know that you are made for greatness.
Mhm.
And as Judy Garland says, why be a second rate version of someone else when you can be a first rate version of yourself? So
Yes,
be fully who you are. The world needs you. You are made for greatness.
made for greatness. I love it. So, I want to take the time and just say, Miss Dea, this has been an absolute pleasure. You have said some things that resonate very well with my own heart, and I would hope that they resonate with our listeners. I really appreciate you coming on the show, sharing not only your wisdom with us, but your smile, sharing your kindness. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but the whole episode, I have had a nice big smile on my face. You are right. It is very contagious.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Brandon and Landon.
Good old Brandon and Landon.
Mhm.
And as always, guys, we want to reach out and just say if you haven't already, join our Facebook page, join our YouTube, follow us on everywhere that you can find a great podcast, because you can find us there. And join our Tavern family. We genuinely want to have you here. We want to get to know you. We want to talk with you every evening, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Friday nights at 10 p.m. unless hiccups happen, because no one's perfect. But that's genuinely when you can find us, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And come hang out with us, ask questions, get to know the guests, and just be a part of this Tavern family, because we want you here. You matter. And as always, thanks for stopping by the Tavern.